He cheated on my mother, stalked our home, and thought he could walk away without consequences. He had no idea we were about to destroy his entire life. Job, freedom, reputation. All of it. If you've ever watched someone hurt the people you love and wished you could make them pay, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready. This isn't just revenge. It's justice served cold. When my parents divorced after 25 long years of emotional torment from my father, my mom was shattered. She had been the backbone of our family, resilient, loyal, and far too forgiving. After the split, she tried to rebuild her life. And that's when she met Chris. Chris was a former inmate, a detail my mom tried to brush aside. She worked as a corrections officer at the local jail, and Chris had done time for a DUI. It should have raised red flags. But she was grieving, vulnerable, and just wanted to feel something close to happiness again. At first, Chris seemed harmless. He liked video games, made my mom laugh, and honestly, he fooled us all. My siblings and I, me, my younger brother, and older sister, moved in with them. We tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. But in 2017, everything changed. Chris was supposed to check in with his probation officer. But instead of returning home that day, we got a call from Texas. The FBI had picked him up. Turns out, Chris's family was involved in gang and drug activities. And he was caught up in it, too. They found evidence tying him to a drug deal. So he flipped on his own family, cut a deal, and got released early to await trial. We were stunned, but my mom, God bless her soul, stayed loyal. She stood by him, helped him rebuild, even celebrated when he got his manager job back at the local Dairy Queen. But then, the drinking began. At first, it was just a few beers here and there. Then it became daily. Half a case. Every single night. And with each drink, the man transformed. He wasn't just unpleasant. He was cruel. Verbally abusive. He tore into my mother for the smallest things. He didn't hit her, but sometimes, words cut deeper than fists. My mom kept making excuses for him. Said he was stressed. Said he was still dealing with trauma. We all saw the truth. Chris was spiraling, and he was dragging my mom down with him. Eventually, she had enough. One night, he came home sloppy drunk, slurring nonsense. She confronted him. He didn't deny it. So she did what none of us thought she'd ever do. She kicked him out. We helped her pack up some of his things, just enough to avoid a confrontation later. While we were boxing his junk, there was a knock at the front door. Betty. She was one of Chris's co-workers, and someone I knew from high school. She looked scared. But she came inside and sat my mom down. I need to tell you something. Please. Don't tell Chris it came from me. What she said next shattered everything. Chris had been cheating. Regularly. Openly. At work. With a woman named Darla, around 40, rough around the edges, and clearly not concerned about consequences. Betty had caught them in the act. Literally. Multiple times around the Dairy Queen. Parking lot. Storage room. Office. Oh, and Darla? Pregnant. Chris had threatened to fire Betty if she ever told my mom. But Betty had enough. She wanted the truth out. When my mom heard it, she didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just sat still. Then she stood up, walked to the back door, and said, "Throw out everything. I don't want a single thing of his in my house." We dragged his clothes, electronics, shoes, everything, into the alley behind our home. We called Chris and told him to pick it up with a police escort. My mom confronted him over the phone. He admitted everything. Said he was glad Darla was pregnant. Said he never wanted my mom's kids anyway. And that's when it all shifted. My mom. She wanted to move on. But us. her kids. We were furious. We couldn't stand the thought of him walking away with a new family and a clean slate. So we decided we'd burn everything he built, piece by piece. Step 1. His job. We called the franchise owner of the Dairy Queen Chris managed. He wasn't just an owner. He was a family friend. We told him everything. The sexual acts on site. The threats. The abuse. The pregnancy. Chris was fired within days. Banned from every location the owner operated. Betty. She got his job. And that store never ran smoother. Step 2. New town. Same tricks. Chris moved in with Darla in a nearby town. Found another DQ to work at. So we made another call. This one took longer. He hadn't pulled any stunts yet. But with some persistence and Betty's testimony, they cut ties with him, too. Step 3. The final blow. We started seeing Darla's car around our neighborhood. Creeping by slowly. Watching. See, Chris never got his license back after that DUI. When he lived with us, we drove him everywhere. But now, he was illegally driving Darla's car. And we knew it. We tipped off the cops. Told them what to look for. They staked it out. A few days later, they pulled the car over. And it was Chris. Driving. Drunk. They arrested him on the spot. But it gets better. While investigating the house, they found guns. Chris, a felon, wasn't allowed to have any. More charges. More jail time. By the time they were done booking him, it lined up perfectly with his federal trial in Texas. He was dragged back there in shackles. Chris's son was born while he rotted in a prison cell. Darla wised up, cut him off, and sued for child support. In prison, Chris started writing letters to my mom, pages of conflicting emotions. One letter would start with, "I'm so sorry," and end with, "It wasn't even my fault." She never responded. Just burned every letter. We moved out of state. Bought a new home. Renovated it ourselves. My brother and sister moved out, living full, happy lives. And me. I stayed to help Mom rebuild. Brick by brick. Last I heard, Chris was living in Kansas, broke, battling child support, and very, very alone. When someone poisons your life, you don't just forgive and forget. Sometimes you cleanse it completely, not out of hatred, but out of love for the people worth protecting. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell us in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? And of course, subscribe for more stories like this, because karma always has a way of finding its target.